Happy Wednesday, everybody. July 21st, and we're going to cover districts. It's something that's really unique to the Villages, Florida. We're going to talk about the districts. You can always find more information, right? You can online on the villagesdistricts.gov. So actually districtsgov.org. So you could always go there to find more information. But what I do want to cover today is I want to cover information on the districts. Really, there's 4 districts I want to cover today. And it was interesting because I remember having a conversation with Joe from Pennsylvania where he was asking about the VA clinic. And we get a lot of inquiries from veterans that want to know about the VA clinic. They want to be within maybe golf cart drive or within 10 minutes. So I want to cover that. That's going to be a big part of what we're going to cover today. So we're going to look at that. But we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to start with the districts, really 5 districts we're going to cover, and one that doesn't even have a number. So we're going to start there. We're going to look at the districts that the Village District, Village Center is where we're going to begin. So we're going to look at that first. We're going to look at basically this area here. So Villages Center, which is actually the very first district, it's not District 1, that's first, is essentially in the historic section here, this area here. That's going to be on the east side of 441. This is the historic section, Classic Hills. We call it the historic section, this whole Orange Blossom historic section. Not to be confused with another neighborhood called Orange Blossom just north of 42, which we'll look at it in a minute. But this area here that I'm circling kind of east, a lot of manufactured housing and some homes that have been removed that have, they've created some residential, some single family homes, some site-built homes there as well. There's kind of a mixture, and that's kind of a regentrification of that area right there. And also this area here, Chula Vista, Spanish Springs area, where Avenida Central area here to Rio Grande and south to 466 is where this Village Center area is around Spanish Springs. There's actually 5,300 homes that are in that area with 386 villas. So mostly standard home sites. Obviously, this area right here, this Orange Blossom, Classic Hills, mostly manufactured housing, thousands of homes, actually a very vast area. So 5,300 homes in this area right here that I'm circling, but most of them will be east of 441, and there's 386 villas, okay? That is actually the Village Center. And these districts that we're covering here have different rules and regulations. Many are similar, but many are different. They're very much like the governing body, as opposed to they're within little municipalities within the villages itself, where people get to discuss and pretty much dictate some of the rules and regulations within that particular area of the Villages, Florida. So if you want more information, you can go to the website and find some more information on the villagesdistrict.gov. So if you want more information on that. So that's what this area is here. If we move a little bit further to the west, right? So if we look at a little bit further to the west, there's a Publix right there. As you just saw. Further to the west, and as we're looking at Morse Boulevard and Hacienda Hills Golf and Country Club, and there was a lot of hubbub about that, and whether there's about apartments going up there, and people were a little bit upset about increased traffic on Morse, and a little bit of a challenge here on Golf Cart, of course, with going up and down Morse Boulevard, but one of the attractive things about this area here is there's a lot of shopping and a lot of restaurants here on 441. And also for folks that are living in this area right around Morse Boulevard, let me zero in on that a little bit closer, right? Let's get a closer look. Obviously, you got Spanish Springs here, Panera Bread, Tierra del Sol Country Club here, access to also not only Spanish Springs, but moving south, a lot of people liked it because you can get to Sumter Landing, which is south of 466. So pretty quick access, 10-minute drive, maybe 15, 20-minute by golf cart from up here all the way to Sumter Landing. But in between the squares has always been a big thing for this whole area in District 1. Places like Tierra Grande and San Antonio, San Pedro Villas. There's a lot of things here. Palo Alto is a road that goes through here. Many people will know that. And, so Morse, and then you get Rio Grande that will come across here, actually cut across to Spanish Springs this way. So that gives you an idea of District 1, okay? No manufactured housing here, but the makeup of it, we've got 3,420 total, 3,420 total properties or units there with 1,138 villas. So a lot of villas, about a third of that particular area is actually villas. So lots of courtyard villas, lots of patio villas in this area here, but a lot of courtyard villas here for sure. And 2282 residential single family non-villas in this area. So a high percentage, 30%, 33% of those particular properties are going to be villas in this area. So that's also a popular spot. And then sometime in the near future, I'm going to cover the average sales price, and I'll cover some trends in there. I'll get a little bit deeper with statistics, but here I just want to give everybody an orientation of where the districts are. So this is District 1. As we're moving, let's move a little bit west now, District 2, right on Google Maps here. District 2 is going to be up here, okay? And this is actually the order of how the Villages was built. I remember moving here in 1995, and obviously this area, Orange Blossom Hills Golf and Country Club, actually they've redone really nice rec center there with a pool, very nicely done here. They redid that a couple of years back, so that's really nice. But you're looking at the order of how things were built, and back in the late 90s, this is actually what happened here, this whole new construction. This was 70s and 80s here, then of course mid 90s, and then mid to late 90s, all of this. Now into Unit 2 was built in like El Camino, the Savannah Center, El Santiago. All these things were built around that period of time. Vera Cruz, these are all things that were built around that time, mid to late 90s. And obviously Unit 2. So El Camino is a main road here that connects 441 and to Buena Vista to the Savannah Center. Okay, so that's District 2. So the makeup, this is District 2 right here. Alhambra is another part of that. So 3,668 units, 2,756 are residential, 846 villas. So a lot of villas there, but not as many villas as District 1 back here. But District 2, that gives you an idea of what that looks like. And by the way, I've mentioned a few communities. We've been talking about affordability and maybe some areas that maybe instead of buying in the Villages, you could look at places like Spruce Creek South, which is not part of the Villages, but literally just north, and also Stonecrest, which is across the street and accessible by golf cart to many things here, like there's Walmart and Lowe's, and there's a lot of different things here that you can see. Office Depot, Chili's, if you're interested in Chili's, of course, the hospital, UF Health, the Villages Hospital is here. Okay, that's not where the VA clinic is. It's actually on 42, which we'll get to in a minute. So, that's Stonecrest. This is Spruce Creek South. That's gives you a little bit of orientation of where you are in the whole scheme of things. So that's Unit 2 in this area here along El Camino, including all the way to Buena Vista. So let's look at District 3. Okay, District 3. And as we're looking at, late 90s to early 2000s, this is what we're looking at here. This particular area here, Glenbrook, right around the Glenview Country Club and the restaurant there. Looking at Summer Hill And obviously lots. What's very attractive about this area is you have additional shopping here. You can look at that. You got Olive Garden, Bonefish Grill. You've got Publix, you got Starbucks. You got all these things on 466 here. Our office actually literally is right here. But Realty Executives in the Village office is right here next to the Hampton Inn. But looking at District 3, where you're looking at like the polo fields here, right? Tally Ridge, Glenbrook, with 3762 in number of units, 3,762 units in this particular district, 2,900 standard homes, 761 villas. So the percentage, a little bit less villas here, 53 premier homes were built in this particular area here. So Glenview Restaurant's one of the features, Summerhill, Summer Chase in this area here. So that tells you about District 3. Now, District 4, and by the way, this is Sumter County, District 2 and 3, Sumter County, District 1, Lake County here. A lot of that's going to be in Lake County here with Spanish Springs. And then, of course, we're looking at Marion County as we move further north. The border is right here, right along this line here. And now you're looking at Marion County, District 4. And it's a much larger, area. It's actually a little bit larger than the Villages Center, the original one, which is here, looking at Marion County here. And we're getting closer to looking at the VA clinic, which is going to be here right next to Mulberry, right? The villages of Mulberry Grove. That's going to be up here. Looking at Briar Meadow, Phillips Villas is right here. Also Springdale, Calumet Grove, Piedmont. These are all particular villages. Chatham, right up here. All these villages are pretty close, in District 4 are pretty close to the VA clinic, and additional shopping over here. So it's, shopping surrounds the villages. We talked about 441 here. We looked at shopping and restaurants on County Road 42, and then of course we've got some restaurants and shopping further south in 466. These are all 10 to 15 minute rides, pretty much to any spot maximum, and probably a little bit quicker depending on where you are in proximity to different places. So really close to shopping all the way around, whether it's in the Village Center, District 1, 2, 3, and 4. Looking at District 4, it's the closest one that's going to be to the VA clinic, right? And I think that's for a lot of veterans, having free access to healthcare there is really, really crucial. Okay. In the future videos, we're going to talk about, we are going to talk about some areas that we're going to talk about District 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to keep going, right? And we'll look at the different districts and the price ranges and the different things that are really attractive. But these are the older sections. What we have seen in a lot of these sections, we've seen kind of a regentrification. We've seen remodeling. A lot of these places already have had new roofs, because what we're seeing now in Florida, because of the rain and the sunshine and all of that, typically 15, 16 years for roofs. Sometimes you can get into the 20 plus range, but insurance companies are being a little bit weird about that for sure, about roofs and age and condition and that type of thing. So we're going to cover the 17 districts in the Villages, Florida very soon, and we're covering the first 5 today. That's what we covered today. So if you have questions, you can call me 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. My name is Glenn. I'm the broker here, the owner here at Realty Executives in the Villages. You can also visit our site, buysellthevillages.com, as you can see right there. And also, please subscribe. That would be absolutely fabulous, because I am sharing really interesting information. We're going to get deeper and deeper into information about what's going on, not only statistic-wise in the Villages, but also specific information that I'm sharing here. That way you can be a little bit more educated as to what's going on. I think that's really important. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of an increase in inventory. We'll cover that more on Friday, but a little bit more of an increase in inventory, which I think is really good news. So if you've said, well, I'm not really interested, things are getting too frothy, now could be a good time to jump into the market to buy, because we've seen a little bit of an increase in inventory, about 15, 20 more homes over the last couple of weeks. So with that, if you have questions, you know where to find me. Okay, take care.